Once upon a time, in the small town of Shadowbrook, nestled deep within the heart of Maine, there lived a young girl named Lily. With her jet-black hair cascading down her shoulders and her porcelain skin as pale as moonlight, she possessed an unyielding fascination for the mysterious and the peculiar. Her heart danced with excitement whenever she stepped foot into the thrift shops that lined the town's desolate streets. One fateful afternoon, as the rain poured relentlessly, Lily found herself seeking refuge within the musty confines of the local thrift store. She was drawn to the farthest corner of the shop, where a tarnished antique mirror stood, its ornate golden frame etched with intricate patterns of forgotten lore. The mirror's surface was smudged and clouded, but a strange allure emanated from its depths, captivating Lily's curious gaze. Unable to resist the allure any longer, she decided to purchase the mirror, convinced that it would make a fine addition to her collection of oddities. Excitement surged through her veins as she pondered the possibilities of unlocking the secrets concealed within its reflective glass. Eager to part ways with the mirror and make a quick buck, she listed it on Facebook Marketplace, hoping to find a willing buyer. Within hours, an inquiry came from a man named David. His profile picture depicted a middle-aged man with sunken eyes and a twisted grin that sent shivers down Lily's spine. Though apprehension gnawed at her insides, the allure of a swift transaction and a hefty sum urged her to respond. They agreed to meet at dusk near the old abandoned mill, a place shrouded in a macabre reputation. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting eerie shadows across the deserted landscape, Lily clutched the mirror close to her chest, her heart pounding in her ears. David arrived, emerging from the mist like a specter, his eyes devoid of life and his voice hollow with a hint of something sinister. Without uttering a word, he handed Lily a wad of crumpled bills and snatched the mirror from her trembling hands. The moment the mirror left her possession, Lily felt a strange void settle within her, as if an invisible connection had been severed. But her relief was short-lived when she realized that David's presence lingered, his gaze fixated upon her with an unsettling intensity. Panic gripped her, and she scurried home, locking herself within the sanctuary of her room. That night, as the moon cast an ethereal glow upon Lily's bedroom, she received a flurry of notifications on her phone. Her heart skipped a beat when she saw that they were from David. Messages flooded her inbox, each one more deranged and unhinged than the last. He professed his love for the mirror and his love for her, vowing to protect her from the shadows that whispered in the night. Fear coiled around Lily's throat like a suffocating serpent, squeezing the air from her lungs. She opened her Facebook page, trembling fingers scrolling through the comments beneath her innocent photos. They were filled with unspeakable horrors, words that chilled her to the core. David's comments dripped with a manic obsession, invoking images of darkness and despair. Haunted and desperate, Lily confided in her parents, their concerned faces etched with lines of worry. Together, they resolved to seek help from the local police, who promised to uncover the truth behind David's eerie existence. Days turned into nights as the investigation delved deeper, revealing a chilling revelation. The truth shattered Lily's fragile reality. David had met his demise over a decade ago in a tragic car accident. He was supposed to have found eternal rest in the cold embrace of the earth, but fate had different plans. The messages that haunted Lily's every waking moment were traced back to an ancient phone that had been buried with David in his desolate grave. A device that had long ceased to function had somehow awakened, a conduit bridging the realms of the living and the dead. A chill wind swept through Shadowbrook, carrying with it the whispers of restless souls and the maddening echoes of a broken reality. Lily, thrust into a realm of the unknown, was left trembling in the wake of this spectral revelation. The police, struggling to explain the inexplicable, sought to pacify her shattered psyche. They assured her that the bizarre messages were nothing more than a glitch, a twisted anomaly birthed from a haunted past. But the scars ran deeper than mere glitches in the system. Lily's spirit had been forever altered by the terrors that lurked within the digital realm. She swore to herself that she would never venture into the treacherous waters of Facebook Marketplace again. The world of virtual connections had become tainted with the specter of David's relentless obsession. From that moment forth, Lily vowed to embrace the tangible, to seek solace in the embrace of brick-and-mortar stores, where the whispers of the dead held no sway. Yet, the shadows that danced upon the walls of her room served as a constant reminder that sometimes, in the darkest corners of our existence, even the most innocuous objects can become vessels for the ethereal, bridging the realms of the living and the dead. And in the echoing halls of Lily's nightmares, David's love for the mirror and his unholy affection for her would forever remain, an indelible mark etched upon her soul. Once upon a time, in the quiet and unsuspecting town of Ravenswood, nestled amidst the darkened hills and ancient oaks, dwelled a young girl named Sarah. She possessed an innocent heart, yet her life was about to take a sinister turn that would forever stain her soul. Sarah, burdened by the weight of her schoolwork, found herself desperately seeking a computer to aid her endeavors. Alas, her meager budget could not accommodate the purchase of a gleaming new machine, so she turned her gaze toward the treacherous realm of the second-hand market, specifically the shadowy corners of the Facebook marketplace. In a haze of desperation and impulsive hope, Sarah stumbled upon an enticing listing. A computer of impeccable allure, capable of fulfilling her needs, whispered seductively from the dimly lit screen. Its price was reasonable, almost too good to be true. But Sarah, swayed by the siren song of affordability, could not resist its allure. She made contact with the enigmatic seller, their words shrouded in an air of mystique. The negotiation was a delicate dance, a macabre waltz between predator and prey. Sarah, unaware of the impending horrors, believed herself victorious in securing the deal. Little did she know that fate had spun a sinister web, ensnaring her unwitting soul in its venomous embrace. Days turned into nights as Sarah sat before her newfound acquisition, its cold metallic exterior offering a facade of false security. But the malicious whispers of malevolence soon manifested in the form of a lethargic behemoth. The once nimble machine, now shackled by a tortuous slowness, plunged Sarah into a pit of frustration. With trembling hands, she attempted to rid her electronic companion of the sinister affliction. Virus scans became a futile ritual, a desperate plea for salvation from the encroaching darkness. Yet, the demons that plagued her machine mocked her feeble efforts, their laughter echoing through the depths of her fragile psyche. Reluctantly, Sarah conceded defeat, acknowledging her need for external aid. With a heavy heart, she reached out to the enigmatic seller, who, with an unsettling eagerness, offered his assistance. An unholy pact was forged as Sarah handed over her ailing companion to the hands of the sinister mender. His gaze, obscured by the shadows of deceit, bore into her soul like a festering wound. Time passed like a fog, a sinister veil shrouding the unfolding horrors. The computer returned, seemingly restored to its former glory. Yet, the unsettling aura of impending doom lingered, cloaked in the deceptive guise of functionality. Weeks morphed into months as the cycle of torment repeated itself, each respite shorter than the last. Sarah, her trust waning but her vulnerability clinging to hope, became ensnared in the seller's insidious web of deceit. As the veil of innocence began to slip from Sarah's eyes, she discerned the subtle signs of malevolence. Shadows danced upon the walls, whispering secrets too dreadful to utter. With bated breath, she beheld the seller's twisted machinations, his malicious intent unveiled. A diabolical revelation stained her soul with terror, for he was intentionally damaging the computer in secret, a wretched plot to ensnare Sarah in his nefarious web, extorting her very essence for his own wicked gain. Fear consumed Sarah, its tendrils coiling around her heart, constricting her every breath. Determined to break free from the clutches of this vile puppeteer, she summoned her courage and sought solace in the arms of justice. The authorities, alerted to the web of deception woven within the darkest corners of Ravenswood, embarked on an arduous investigation. Days turned into nights, the moon casting an ethereal glow upon the tireless pursuit of truth. The labyrinthine path unraveled, exposing the seller's malevolence to the unforgiving light. In a climactic revelation, the wicked puppeteer was unmasked, his deceit laid bare for all to witness. Justice, like a vengeful specter, descended upon him with a fury reserved for the most wretched of souls. Sarah, the weary heroine, emerged from the darkness, forever changed by the horrors she had endured. The scars etched upon her soul would forever serve as a reminder to trust her instincts, to never take even the simplest of things for granted. With newfound wisdom and resilience, she ventured forth, her heart emboldened by the flickering light of her triumph. But in the depths of her being, Sarah knew that the terrors of the world would forever haunt her dreams, lurking in the shadows, waiting for the opportune moment to strike once more. And so, with resolute determination, she vowed to navigate the treacherous paths of life with caution, forever vigilant against the encroaching darkness.
I hope you enjoy the content I upload. If you like what I'm doing, why not think about clicking on the subscribe button to keep up to date on my uploads. Thank you all for the great support.
The rain poured relentlessly as darkness swallowed the small town of Greenwood. Tim Sullivan, a young man with a passion for cars, found himself endlessly scrolling through the Facebook marketplace. He longed for the perfect vehicle that would be his gateway to freedom. And then, like a specter lurking in the shadows, he stumbled upon it, an ad for a classic Mustang, a collector's dream, at a price that seemed too good to be true. A chill ran down Tim's spine as he messaged the seller, arranging to meet and inspect the car. He ignored the nagging voice of caution within him, intoxicated by the prospect of owning his dream ride. Little did he know that his impulsive decision would lead him down a nightmarish path from which there may be no escape. Tim arrived at the address given by the seller, an isolated farmhouse on the outskirts of town. The place seemed frozen in time, its decaying exterior whispering tales of forgotten secrets. Despite his apprehension, Tim approached the door, the heavy creak echoing through the night. The door swung open, revealing 4 menacing figures, haggard, eyes hollow, and emanating an aura of malevolence. They invited Tim inside, their voices laced with sinister sweetness. He stepped over the threshold, and the door slammed shut behind him, sealing his fate. Confined within the dimly lit room, Tim realized he had walked into a trap. The 4 men circled him, their eyes glinting with sadistic pleasure. The Mustang ad had been nothing more than bait, a web spun to lure their prey. As the hours dragged on, the men revealed their intentions, toying with Tim's mind, inflicting psychological torment with each passing moment. They relished in their power, their distorted laughter reverberating through the stagnant air. Days turned into weeks, and Tim's hope faded like a dying ember. The men had transformed the farmhouse into a twisted chamber of horrors. Bound and weakened, he witnessed their descent into madness, their souls consumed by a darkness that surpassed comprehension. He discovered their true purpose, a sacrifice, an offering to the malevolent force that dwelled within the shadows of the farmhouse. Unearthly whispers and chilling laughter filled his ears, driving him to the brink of sanity. Desperation fueled Tim's resolve as he plotted his escape. With each passing day, he carefully observed his captors, learning their routines and searching for weaknesses. He bided his time, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. His opportunity arrived during a violent storm that rattled the very foundations of the farmhouse. Amidst the chaos, Tim broke free from his bonds, his heart pounding with adrenaline. He fought his way through the labyrinthine corridors, his body battered and bruised. As Tim reached the outskirts of the farmhouse, he could feel the malevolent presence closing in. He turned to face his captors, no longer just 4 men but embodiments of a much darker force. The storm raged around them, lightning illuminating their grotesque features. Tim emerged from the farmhouse, battered but alive. The storm receded, leaving behind a somber silence. The 4 men, now mere husks of their former selves, lay lifeless on the rain-soaked ground. Tim would forever bear the scars of his harrowing ordeal, haunted by the horrors he had witnessed. But as he walked away, he clutched tightly to the keys of the Mustang, a symbol of survival amidst the darkness. He vowed to reclaim his life, to rebuild the shattered pieces of his existence. Little did he know that the horrors he had faced were not confined to the farmhouse alone. The specter of his past would forever haunt him, reminding him that even in the wake of victory, darkness always lingers, waiting for its next victim. With a newfound determination, Tim defied his captors, confronting the demonic entity that had held him captive. In a harrowing battle between light and darkness, he summoned every ounce of strength and willpower he possessed.